Today I'll go with the basic concepts of this full stack development. What exactly the full stack? What is the front end? What is the back end? And what are the use of front end? What is the use of the back end? And in your point of view, what is front end and what is back end? What exactly front end? What exactly the back end? What do you know about those things? Either it is right or wrong, no problem at all. You just tell me what are things you know about the front end and the back end. Anyone? Yes, Kiran Bhai.
I think front end is about designing the website and back end is about coding.
Mm, front end is okay, back end is not that one. Even front end also you need to add that coding, right? By using the code we can develop that front end part.
It's backend means the end of something.
Sorry,
End of something.
what is that exactly? What is that something?
So backend,
Yeah, what is that something?
which is furthest from the front or the working end. So the end of working
I'll explain.
something.
Yeah, I'll explain that.
Yes.
Before going to that, you need to know about what exactly the functionalities happened inside the website. Okay, so in website we have two things, static and the dynamic. In that, two processor takes place. One is synchronous, other one is asynchronous process. Okay, one is synchronous, other one is asynchronous process. What is synchronous and what is asynchronous? For example, if you take, this is one login form, and this is the database. If how it will works login form, if you're supposed to enter your credentials like user id and the password, if that condition is true, if that condition is true, then it will enter into the targeted page, right? It means if you're supposed to enter the details into the login form, that is directly checked with the database, is that credentials are availability or not, is that credentials valid or not. So it will check with the database. If condition is true, then automatically it will opens targeted page. That is synchronous process. It means one application is directly communicate with the database, direct communication with database, that is synchronous. It is directly synced with the database. Asynchronous means here step by step process takes place. It like if suppose if you enter the user id and password, you entered only the user id, you not yet entered any password. What happened? It's showing some error like this field is required, right? You entered only username without entering the password. You just click on the login page. What happened? You'll get one notification. You need to require this field. You need to fill this form, kind of thing. What happened there? In step 1, form validation takes place. Form validation. It means it will check whether all the fields are covered with data or not, filled with data or not. That step takes place in the first. That we call it as form validation. Okay, then we entered with a user ID and a password. Next, it will go to that second step. Step 2. That is verification. That is verification. It means it will check with database. In step 2, it will check with the database. In step 1, form validation happens. In step 2, form verification happens. And last, it will check with the database. If that credentials is true, then it will open to the target page. If not, it will redirect to the same page. It with some notification like this credentials is not valid or records is not found in database, kind of thing. It will display on the screen. Got it? So if one data is directly communicated with the database is called as a synchronous. If step by step process takes place, if that form is communicated with database in step by step format with validation verification, that we call it as asynchronous. Synchronous means direct communication, asynchronous means step by step communication. Got it? Understand this one or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Not only this part, even if you're supposed to go with any application, either e-commerce like Flipkart, Amazon, or any like social network platforms like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever it is, each and every functionality happens the same format. Okay. And now in this part we have front end and back end. Even if you're supposed to come up with IT sector, we have some openings for the front end developers and we have the back end developers. If you're supposed to come up with the both the front end and the back end, then we call it as a full stack developer. Whether it is come up with the Java or it is come up with the Python, whatever it is. If you're supposed to come up with the front end and the back end technologies, that we call it as a full stack developers. Okay. What is front end? Front end means here we can design one GUI. We can design GUI application, one graphical user interface. It may be related to e-commerce or social network, whatever it may be. It means front part, just a design structure. It indicates only the what exactly we are doing. Those things only display on the screen. If you come up with that PPT, PowerPoint presentation, what happened? You just added some images and some text. It will just give us some guide about that particular part. The same thing is come to that front end part. In front end, we can design only that structure of website, some with a graphical user interface. In that we have only some data related to your work and some services, and if you've done anything before with collaborations kind of thing, that one it will display only those data. If in the front end part, if you add any of the login button, if you're supposed to click on that login, if it is redirect to that login form. So what exactly happened here? If you're supposed to enter the user ID and the password, that will check up with the database, right? So here backend is completely connected with the database work. So front end is what exactly we are seeing on the screen is the front end part. So database we can't see, right? We built a lot of things. I'll show you example of the database. So mostly for backend we are using only that SQL part. So here it is a backend part. In this, all the databases are available here. What we supposed to build. Here we have the academy database and the mails database. So we can't see this, right? It will display only the front end part. Like if you come up with that website. So if you're supposed to come up with this website, it will display only the front end part. It won't display the back end, right? Here backend one more server is running, so it takes few minutes time to load this application. Yeah. So all these are the front end part. So if it's supposed to come up with a website, it won't display the backend, right? It will display only the front end user interface, what exactly we have and what are the things we provided and all, right? So this we call it as the front end part. If we come up with the database, that we call it as the backend part. In that backend we have the databases, and in that databases we can find the tables and some rows, columns, all the things. If we come up with the admin, we have the admin details here. So if you're supposed to enter the front end part, that will be stored in the database, that we call it as the backend. It means if you're supposed to add the database to the front end, we have one application. If you're supposed to take this application, if you're supposed to link this database with this application, we call it as dynamic website. If we have only the front end part, we have only this website without database, that is called static. Got it? If the developer is come up with this both front end designer and back end developer, if you're supposed to come up with the both technologies, we call it as a full stack developer. Got it?
Yes, sir.
I hope now you got the clarity about this front end and the back end and full stack developer, what exactly it is.
Yes, sir.
And have any doubts up to now?
No, sir.
No. Yeah, good.
No, sir.
Okay. Now come to the coding structure. In this web technology, we call it as the tags. In coding part, we call it as the tags that are open tags and closing tag. We have the two things here. To build the code, we need to follow one structure. Even if you're supposed to come up with the C language, their declaration is different. The Python declaration is different. Java declaration is different. And here also, this for this technology we have one format. We need to follow that one. So all these applications we start with HTML part, hypertext markup language. If you're supposed to add this one, we call it as open tag. If you're supposed to add with a forward slash, we call it as a closing tag. Open tag and closing tag. We need to declare the HTML first because the compiler want to know what kind of language we are using to build that application. Next, we need to build header. What is header? So header means if you come up with the website, any website, if you're supposed to take this one, uh, just this Google page. Here, this top part we call it as a header part. All this part we call it as a header part. And rest of thing we call it as a body part. So inside the header part, we'll add title of websites. Here we have the cPanel. cPanel hosting is the website name. cPanel tools is the website name. If you're supposed to add any of the thing like Google, if I supposed to click on that Google, here Google is the name of this website. Like this we can add the title of website inside the header part. Okay, inside the header part we can add the title of website. So first we need to declare that one. Header, that is head, open tag and close tag. Open tag and a close tag. Where it is title is located inside the heading, right? Inside the header part title is located. Inside the header part. So inside means in between that open tag and the close tag, we need to declare the title. Title is if you're supposed to write it as a Google. Title close tag. If you're supposed to write like this text in between the title tag, that will be displayed here. I'll show you that here. See, here we have the header. Inside the header part, we have the title. The title is Google. I'll change this to Google to Doodle. See here, it will change here. So title tag is helps to create the title of website. Got it? So
Yes, sir.
we add that title tag between the header tag. Now title part is done. Now we need to come up with the body part. For that, we need to declare the body tag. Body open tag, body close tag. So in between this body, we can design whole the structure of website. Okay. even that may be that forms or the images or anything what exactly display on the screen, whatever it may be, all the things are they come up with a body part. I'll show you that. See here, this is the body tag. In between that body everything is located. Everything is designed inside the body. Inside the heading, only that header links like titles, all the things. Inside the body tag we can build everything design of that website. Got it? So this is the structure of this code. If we if how to how we supposed to save this page? If we supposed to done with the coding part, we need to save this page with .html. We just name it as the index and save it as .html. If you're supposed to write the code in Java, we can save it as a .java. If you're supposed to write the code with a C, we can save it with a .c. Like that, we can save this file with .html. How to run this code? How to run? I'll copy this code, this structure. For this, we can use Notepad++ or Visual Studio, or we can use a Notepad also. So let me check whether it is available or not. Yeah, Notepad is available here. So here in this Notepad, first we need to save this file. Save as, we just choose the location where we are supposed to save this file. Okay, I'll choose with a new volume D or E. I'll choose this one E and name it as index.html. Index.html. Save. Now file is saved. You just check once whether it is saved or not in that location E. So it is saved here. If you want to run this code directly, you just open it. So see here, index.html is executed. If we supposed to add the code here, code is added. I'll save this code. If you're supposed to done any changes in the code, every time you need to save this file. Now I save this. I'll run this code, reload. Here title got changed. That is a Google. If you want to add any of the information inside the body, that should be declared in between the body tag. The first is come up with the headings part. Here headings are 6 types. By using that h1 tag, we can declare that headings h1 open tag and the close tag. That is heading 1. The same way heading 2, that is h2. Heading 2 open tag and the close tag. Like this we can add up to h6. We just copy that code and place that code between that body tag, inside the body tag. Body open tag, body close tag. In between that, added this one. H1 is a heading 1, H2 is a heading 2. Save, reload this page again. So we got that output here, heading 1 and the heading 2. Like this we have up to H6. In the same way, we can print the paragraph by using p tag. Paragraph, by using the p tag, p open tag and the p close tag, we can build the paragraph. By using this p open tag and the close tag, we can build that paragraph. Place that inside the body, save and reload. So we got the paragraph here. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Understand this one or not?
Yes, sir.
Now I'll give the one task related this one. Okay?